Thank you for listening to the Midwest Horse Fair Outside the Arena podcast, where we share wonderful real-life stories and expert advice from the equine clinicians and entertainers from around the country who have been a part of the largest 3-day horse fair in the USA. Our first series will include several interviews conducted during the 2024 fair. This is Kelly Kinney, the Midwest Horse Fair Coliseum announcer, and we hope you'll all stick around and learn more about the fascinating lives of these experts outside the arena.
Welcome to the Midwest Horse Fair podcast. We are sitting here today with Brandy von Holten, and she is from Mora, Missouri. And to start off, we would just like you to go ahead and introduce yourself, maybe talk about your background a little bit and how you got to where you are today.
Okay, so that is a very complex question.
It's a big question.
Okay,
Let's hit it.
Questions. All right. So I have done a lot. Okay, I've done a lot. I've done more probably in my life than I think like several people would total. I don't know. I'm very eclectic. I'm basically a walking casserole, potluck.
I've never heard it called that. That's awesome.
I'm Western version of.
So let's get started. Okay, so the biggies is I did full contact fighting for 23 years as a heavyweight and been to 5 countries representing the United States. I've done, it was point fighting at first, then I went to Olympic Taekwondo, which you fight 3-minute rounds. If you knock them out, you win. If they can't control the bleeding within 60 seconds, you win. And there's a point system to it.
Awesome.
You have to wear sensors on your feet, sensors on your chest, because each weight division you have to kick with so many pounds of pressure.
Cool.
Can't punch to the face, but you can knock them out by kicking them to the face. So I did that for a long time. I did a professional cage fight. So before the UFC, there was the IFC. Made $10,000 in one night. I actually lost. Took 9 minutes and 11 seconds. I ended up tapping, but the lady that my one professional cage fight, she had to get stitches in her eyebrow because I headbutted her from the ground.
Yeah.
Anyways, I told you this is gonna be this is.
I love it.
It's a lot. I'm a lot. I am a lot. But I always tell people, if I'm too much, then go find less.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
I also did kickboxing. I had 10 kickboxing matches, and I won all of those. Anyways, well, that was 23 years of martial arts, but now I decided I wanted to do it again, and I'm in my 40s, and the most competitive weight division, or age division, is 18 to 32. Well, they consider you handicapped if you're over 32, but you're allowed to fight in that division, and that's the one that wins the sponsorships and stuff. So I decided to do that again, and I competed for the first time not too long ago, like a week ago.
Oh, wow.
And I placed second in the 18 to 32-year-old division.
Wow.
So
that's
I'm
awesome.
back. I mean, I am on top of the world right now.
Yes.
So I'm like, there's like this song that says, I might not be as good as I once was,
Absolutely.
but I'm good once as I ever was.
Yes. Rest in peace, Toby Keith. Yes.
Yeah. So I have that. Okay. So now then my upbringing. So, raised in South Texas, I'm almost Mex. That's what I tell everybody.
All right.
And then moved to Arkansas. My family got in a bunch of trouble. I'm like the only person. I've got 3 college degrees, and I'm the only person in my family to not have a felony.
Okay.
And they have more felonies than I have college degrees. So I'm like the only one that's kind of like not rough stock.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a good way of putting it.
I'm extra rough stock. You know, I do mounted archery and I fight and stuff like that. Well,
other ways.
Well, there's people that are strong usually come from rough backgrounds.
Absolutely.
And I'm strong.
There's grit there.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have a lot of grit. So my college, I was in college for like 10 years. Oh my gosh. I made up for all of my family not going to college. So I have a degree in biology with a minor in physics, a degree in criminal justice, and my master's in teaching.
Hey.
So I did that. Hey.
You're talking to some teachers here. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't go to school to be a teacher, but they had this alternative teacher certification. And so I did that because there was a shortage of math and science teachers. Well, I really connected. I was in some inner city schools for a little bit, and they loved me because I was a full contact fighter. And then I'm country.
You're bringing realness to the table.
Well, I was in alternative school for a little bit in high school, and so like the kids were like, she's one of us.
Yes.
She made it out of
absolutely.
this. And I'm like, yeah, you can make it out of that. I don't know. I just really connected well with them. So there's that. Well, I moved to the state of Missouri in the early 2000s because I tried to go to the Olympics, and I moved to train with a specific instructor. Her name is Terry Gotro, and she won a bronze medal in the 92 Olympics. And I moved there to train with her, but then I met my husband and I stayed in the state. Okay. So we bought my husband's family farm. It's been in the same family since 1906. And whenever we bought it in 2013, it had not been lived on. I know this is a lot of dates, okay? 1906. He's the fourth generation to purchase the family, or to own the family farm. It's been purchased by 3 generations. It was given to 1 generation. Unfortunately, it was not our generation. Okay.
Fair enough.
So, and then we bought it in 2013, but it had not been lived on since 1979. So, there's like this thing that says it's easier to give birth than to raise the dead. Well, we had to raise the dead and then give birth. And what we gave birth to was an equine trail riding facility. So we opened up Von Holten Ranch, and it's in Mora, Missouri. Mora doesn't really exist hardly. I mean, there's not even a post office. We're there, and there's like a lumber yard, and that's about it. Okay, I think there's some famous person that owns like the Rams or something that's from Mora. I don't know. I'm not really big into team sports. I've always done individual sports. I know that's weird to say.
No,
Root for the person.
It's all on you then.
Well, I don't like pulling the weight of somebody that didn't prepare.
Right. Yeah.
So,
hot take. Hot take. Yeah. I love that.
I do have a famous neighbor. Well, hold on. We are really close to the town of Sedalia, and Sedalia is where the Missouri State Fair is at. And that thing brings in, I don't know, under 300,000 people a year, but a lot. It's a big number.
Yeah.
Well, my neighbor, though, is Leroy Van Dyke. And Leroy Van Dyke is an older country music star. He had this show called The Van Dyke Show, and he won, I think it was Entertainer of the Decade for the 1960s, or an Entertainer of the Year for, I don't know all of the specifics. I just know that he is amazing. Yeah. He's like this huge star. I know that his song, he has 2 major songs. One's like The Auctioneer and one's called Walk On By. And those songs, one of them was in the top chart, and it had the record of being the longest standing country music song in the top charts, because now music is made too fast. So his record will always stand.
Oh, we love that.
And so he's my neighbor. So there's the weird story. But now here we are, we've owned Von Holten Ranch for over a decade now, and I got into mounted archery. I write for a couple of equine magazines, and one of them that I wrote for wanted to have like a meet and greet of all of the facility, or all of the organizations that they have featured in their magazine. Well, one of them was mounted archery, and my fighting just went right over into mounted archery because it's hand-eye coordination. And so I'm like, wow. So the first time I ever shot from my mule, I shot a bullseye, and I was like, and I have found my sport.
This is it.
What a weird way to make that come about.
Yeah.
So I've got other stuff in there. I used to train police officers. I have a very weird, and what's funny is I'm a very chubby lady. So like if somebody's walking down the street, they would be like, I bet she makes a mean casserole. And they have no idea what's going on in my head.
So let's talk a little bit more about that, and tell us a little bit about your brand and what is bringing you to the Midwest Horse Fair, and what you're speaking about.
Okay, so I'm doing mounted archery, which mounted archery is like the smallest thing that we do at our facility. It's literally, it's such an eclectic group of people, because you're cantering and you got to drop the reins and you're shooting a projectile weapon, and it's a real weapon. It's not like mounted shooting that's a blank. This is a real weapon. I mean,
it could hurt someone.
Oh yeah, it took me 5 years to get this approved, and I had to write letters to the sheriff's department that went through the Midwest Horse Fair. They had meetings just about me.
This is 5 years in the making to bring you here. Well, this is exciting.
Yeah, I have done presentations in the past, but I never got to actually shoot.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that. And what I'm talking about is the inclusiveness that can happen, and that how, there's a lot of people, they're never going to be a roper. They're never going to be a rainer. They're never going to start a cult. Okay. There's so many people that don't fit into these other categories, but I have something that anybody can fit in if they'd like to, because you can do mounted archery from the ground, you can do specialty shots. I have it where I have people compete with just their horse standing still, because that changes everything, just elevating you. Then we have competing in mounted archery from a walk, and then of course there's the high end with the cannery. But what I'm talking about is body positivity, and about how, man, my mounted archers, I think I have 5 mounted archers in their 70s. And most of the mounted archers that are good are in their 50s and 60s. A lot of young people, if they fail, they just get crushed by it and they don't push through. But my older people, they've got that they're wanting to shake the cobwebs off, and they're wanting to be like, I want to do something for me. I have a lot of women that are finding themselves, after they've had children and their kids are out of high school, or grandparents, and they don't have to babysit their grandchildren for free, and their grandkids are finally into school. I have that group of women that are like, I want something for me. I used to be cool. And they're like, I want to be different. I want to do something sexy. And I have such a herd of people that I have people from extra small to 5X. And then I have young, I have more older, and I have a lot of women. And we have a lot of fun.
So I think social media plays a huge role in that conversation, and I think you're preaching to the choir on that, on body positivity, and we love to hear it. So how do you deal with that, and how do you navigate social media in a world where sometimes we are not nice to each other?
Oh, I love when they're mean to me.
Okay, let's go. Let's
go. So much money off of them being mean. Oh my God. So.
Yes, let's talk about it.
I did 300 ice baths in a year, okay, and I did that in my bathing suit. Okay. Well, I recorded it. Yes. And oh my goodness, I got my butt handed to me on social media. You know what? They would be like, you're fat. And I'm like, you must have a master in having a keen eye. Okay. They're so.
You tell them.
Oh, and so I had a video not too long ago go viral of me riding my mule, and I had on a pair of tighter pants. Okay, and I had on the loosest hoodie I've ever had in my life. Well, I was like Miss Muffin Top. Okay, but everybody loves, people love muffin tops. This is the best part of the muffin.
Yes, absolutely.
That day, okay? Oh my gosh, I had so many people talk about my body weight, and I didn't know that it had went viral until I seen that it had gotten stitched. And I was like, oh wait, there's my video. Oh, that's not my video. Stitched means that they take your video and then they put an extra video on behind it. Okay, so they did not know that I was ready to launch my own clothing line.
Ooh.
And so the next day after that video went viral and everybody's telling me how fat I am, my first t-shirt that I launched said Easy Keeper. I sold $1,000 on the first day of that t-shirt.
Yes.
So, I've had people come to me to the Midwest Horse Fair that met me on social media, and you know what helps me navigate this is I have a sign in my office, which this is going to sound pretty rough, but it says, don't make me make a necklace out of your teeth.
Oh,
and so
let's go.
I said that to a lady before we fought. And she was crying, and I owned her before we even started the match. Anyways, all of these people are just, they're keyboard warriors, and then I'm out here trying to do something.
You are doing things.
I have so many moms reach out to me that might have a plus-size daughter, and they're just like, I make my daughter read everything that you write. And I have so many people that reach out to me, and they're like, I couldn't handle that stuff coming towards you. And I was just like, oh, I just know that they're the scum of the earth. I don't judge people by their size. I have learned that over and over again. You just don't. There is so much more than what you see. I don't know. I just don't get messed up by it. And now I'm thinking about making all sorts of videos where I just ride my animal in my bathing suit and just be like, bring it, because you're going to make me some money, honey.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It is hurt. I mean, it does hurt. I mean, I'm not going to be over here like, oh, it meant nothing to me. No, I mean, I read some of them and then I just get rid of them.
So who do you go to for advice or support, or where do you get, how do you handle some of that stuff?
Well, I mean, like, my husband is so supportive of me. Man, he's my best friend. He is literally my best friend. You know, a lot of people complain about their spouses and stuff. I ain't got nothing to complain about mine. You know, I wish he would get some of my projects done faster, but besides that.
We won't talk about that.
No, but like, he is so supportive of me, and he's like, I am so sorry. He's like, they don't know how hard you try.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he has seen me fail more diets than most people have tried. And he's just like, that boy signs up every day to be my husband.
Amen.
You know, and I have so much love and support from him. I've got about, the people that I call fit on one hand. Okay. My best friend Terry, I call and talk to her, and she's always just like fired up. She's always ready to like help me.
We need to roll. Every girl needs one of those kind of friends.
You know, most of the people that I call are much older than me.
Okay.
You know, and they just like, they're over it. Okay. They're over it. I don't know. That's who I just have, like, my small group of people and my husband.
What do you think is the most purposeful thing, valuable thing that you do, that you see as a clinician?
Oh, you know what? Helping people just see their potential, and then I celebrate them for these little things. They see this big thing that they're trying to do, and I'm just like, oh, I seen you. You had the correct leg on, but your horse wasn't right. I was like, you're doing right. Yeah. And you know what? I made a comment to a clinician before, and she trains horses and she helps other people. And I told her one time, I said, I wish you could see yourself the way that I see you. Oh. And I almost cried.
Yes. You're going to make me cry.
And she was just like, thank you. You know, we do something called Country Tough Trail Versatility, and it's a competition that we do where you take ranch horsemanship, natural obstacles, and we take trail riding, and we combine that, and we let people ride two-handed. I mean, like, it's a grassroots thing. Man, the growth I have seen of people, and I just celebrate them. I don't know. I think that's been one of the most positive things. We have so many people that they don't have a lot of expensive horses or the most expensive trailers, but
it's okay.
Well, and I love sharing that my first horse competition as an adult, I competed in 2 divisions. I got dead last and disqualified.
Yes.
Okay? But the next year I came back, I got 6th at the world championship. Okay. I won a buckle and I ended up 5th in another division overall. Yep. So I'm all like, no, I like to get my butt handed to me because it humbles me, and then it helps me set some goals. Yep. So just
enter. You just gotta enter and be in the race.
Yep. All right. So, what is one piece of advice you would have for somebody either getting started or just, this is what I tell everybody in the horse industry?
Okay, horses. Okay, if you're getting started into horses, oh man, this is going to be a big statement.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
ready.
Let's
hear it.
Yeah. So many people, they buy with, like, women will buy with their uterus instead of their brain.
Ooh.
I need them to stop trying to save something that they don't know what they're saving. Okay, I need them to get a horse that's going to be safe for them. I see so many novice people will buy an animal that's not for a novice.
Green on green.
Well, green on green equals black and blue. Yes. And I'm like, stop buying because you feel so sorry for something. Yes. Like, horses are not humans. They're not designed the way that we are. You need to be successful, get some lessons, and then get help purchasing an animal. And it doesn't have to, money does not make the animal more safe.
This is true. This is true.
Okay, but I see so many people, they're like, oh, I seen this horse and it was free and it just needs this. It can't be haltered and it's 4. And I'm like,
that's not what you need.
Stop buying stuff, because typically whenever people are trying to save something, usually the person's got to be saved from the horse, and then they don't want a horse after that because they had such a negative experience.
True.
So I don't know. I just really wish that people would calm down with that for a little bit and get some help and actually research their clinicians and find out who they're listening to. You might be listening to somebody that's going to get you hurt.
Yeah.
So
it's great advice. We appreciate that. We need more of that.
Big statements from Brandy von Holten.
That's a hot takes with Brandy von Holten. That's what we're going to title this podcast after this.
All right, so you're on social media quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So if somebody wanted to follow you or wanted to get a hold of you, how would they go about that?
Okay, so I want to answer that twice, okay? Because we have our ranch. You come and trail ride at it, and we host a bunch of clinicians. We have competition stuff. That is Von Holten Ranch, okay? And you can find Von Holten Ranch on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Google, anything.
We'll link it in the podcast
Von Holten Ranch. But then the thing that has the biggest numbers is myself. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm on Facebook. I am Brandy von Holten, author, speaker, instructor. Okay. Everybody wants to be my personal friend. Well, Facebook, you can only have 5,000 friends.
Right.
That thing's maxed out. So I have a professional account. And then we have my websites, brandyvonholten.com. But see, I do a lot of business coaching, and I write children's books. I have a podcast. So that's my professional stuff. My horsemanship things and my mounted archery is horsemanshipwithbrandy.com, because people can't spell my last name. So, and I wanted it to seem more welcoming, so I left out my last name. It's just Horsemanship with Brandy.
Love it.
Yeah, and then Brandy von Holten for all my business coaching and author stuff.
Very simple. Yeah. Perfect.
Well, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for
today,
having
Brandy.
me.
Yeah, and talking and sharing everything.
I am not very good at hiding stuff. I just find that it's easier just to, if people don't like me, I like to go ahead and trim that fat early on, and then it helps me find my people faster.
Right. Weed them out.
Right.
Weed them out right away.
Oh,
find your people. Well, we appreciate everything you stand for and your brand, and we're so happy that you were here at the Midwest Horse Fair with us. So thank you for being here.
The Midwest Horse Fair is proudly presented by the Wisconsin State Horse Council Incorporated for over 40 years. Net proceeds from the fair are used by the Wisconsin State Horse Council to promote the equine industry through leadership, education, service, and communication, as well as taking a proactive role in the future growth and development of the equine industry. Thanks again for listening to the Midwest Horse Fair Outside the Arena podcast, where we share stories from expert horse clinicians and entertainers. We hope that you enjoyed this episode and continue to tune in every month and learn about the lives and hear valuable advice from the folks we are proud to have join us at the fair. Learn more about the Midwest Horse Fair at midwesthorsefair.com.
It's not a horse show, it's a horse fair, and you gotta be there. It's the great Midwest Horse Fair.